basketball, we start with number 1 UCLA, off to a 14-0 start, the best start since they went 30-0 back in that 72-73 season. Bill Walton, Jamal Wilkes, the big players there. Keep your eye on Chamberlain Oguchi. He's gonna keep going, and finish. Great hustle. Oregon up by 10 at the half, trying to pull off the big upset. Second half, they're up by 7. Aaron Brooks makes it 9. Sweet. He was 9 for 11 from the field. Later in the second, Oguchi hangs, hits. He would hit all 6 of his free throws in this game. Oregon by 8. UCLA makes a comeback. Down by 3. Can't seem to get a break. Under 30 seconds left. Down by 3. Darren Collison. Huge triple ties the game. 15 seconds left. Brooks, the senior from Seattle, a clutch jumper. He had 25. Oregon by 2. 12.3 left. 2 to tie, 3 to win. Josh Shipp shot 46% last year behind the arc. This year, 35%. Fake, that's a tough shot. Not a chance. It's over. The undefeated season for UCLA is over. They are 14-1, as is Oregon.
2 years ago, Duke beat Virginia Tech by 35. Last year, they beat them at the buzzer. Hokies back at Cameron Indoor Stadium on Saturday. You see what Duke does to unranked teams. But Greg Paulus was struggling. You see all the turnovers. Paulus had 6 of Duke's 22 turnovers that couldn't take care of the ball. Then Tech up 2. Out on the break, Coleman Collins with the finish, and Virginia Tech up by 4, 11 for Collins. We move to the second half, game tied at 49, under 12 minutes to go. Josh McRoberts, he had 16 points. Duke had its first lead of the game, 51-49. 3 minutes to go, Hokies up by 1. Paulus throws it away. On the other end, Deron Washington up and over Paulus. Unbelievable. Virginia Tech up 62-59. Under 30 seconds to go now. 3-point game. DeMarcus Nelson, 4 of 6 on threes. He had 22. They went to overtime. Under 40 seconds left. Hokies down 1. Jamon Gordon over McRoberts. Virginia Tech up 1. 7.5 to go. Hokies up 2. A.D. Vasayo at the line misses a second one. Duke with one more chance. But wait a minute. Let's go to the Wayback Machine. Here's the buzzer beater we talked about. Sean Dockery's half-court shot lifted Duke over Virginia Tech 76-75 last year, but not this time. Washington with the block. And the Hokies get the win, 69-67 at Cameron.
Upset alert continues. Number 7 Arizona against Washington State. Ivan Radenovic for 3. Ties the game at 67 with 12.5 seconds left. Same score now for the win in regulation and the major upset. No, we go to overtime. In overtime, all Cougars already up by 4. Kyle Weaver to steal. Chris Matthews playing hardball. It's good. Cougars by 2. The first time the Cougars have beaten the Wildcats since 1986.
What about Alabama? They had lost their last 3 SEC openers. They played at Arkansas Saturday, hoping to change all that. First half, Arkansas up 11-0. Gary Irvin off the screen. 3-ball. Bang, bang, bang. Arkansas scored the first 14 points of the game. Mike Godfrey said of his team early in the game, we were pathetic. Then Arkansas 15. Irvin with the steal. Leaves it for Sonny Weems. Who knows what to do with it. Weems had 18. Later, Arkansas up 21. Darian Towns with a big block. They're off and running again. Patrick Beverly takes it from there. He had 18. Arkansas up 23. Second half, they're up 32. It's Weems throwing it down again. Irvin had 11 assists to go with his 18 points. And the Razorbacks improved to 12-3 on the season with a blowout of the tie.
Clemson 15-0, but ranked just 18th as they host Georgia Tech. Clemson, the only undefeated team left now in the country as they played this game. We showed you the other teams previously perfect, no longer perfect. Cliff Hammonds, Clemson up by 3. Second half now, time winding down. The freshman, Javaris Crittenden, puts Tech up by 1. Same score, 6 seconds left. Clemson inbounds. You got to go the entire length of the court. James May does, and Clemson up by 1. Georgia Tech looks confused, not sure what to do. The inbound, and they get a desperation shot from Mohamed Faye. It doesn't happen, so Clemson 16-0. Their best start is 17-0. They can do that Tuesday against North Carolina State. So the Clemson Tigers are the lone remaining unbeaten team in Division I with their last second victory and the loss by top-ranked UCLA. All right, how about number 14 UConn, number 19 LSU? Here's your Big East tune-up game. UConn off to a good start. They're up 17-12. Stanley Robinson puts UConn up by 7. Time winding down, however, LSU down by 1. Tack Minor, a major jump shot for 3. LSU leads by 2 at halftime. And then Glenn Davis underneath. He had 16 to lead the Tigers. And now LSU up by 8. Garrett Temple, again, he had 14. And LSU goes on to beat UConn 66-49. Florida SEC opener for Florida and Georgia. Billy Donovan's Gators hosting the Bulldogs. First half, Gators up 19-17. Corey Brewer, good game, 19-10. However, Georgia led the halftime 26-25. Second half,
and the quick hands of Levi Stoops.
Levi Stoops goes up for the layup, but out of nowhere comes Brewer. Later in the second, Gators, Joakim Noah, where are you? 13-13. Florida outscores Georgia in the second half, 42-25. They've won 7 in a row. They're 11-0 at home. All right, good producing, putting Ohio State and Florida together in the show. They play Monday for football's national title game. Wouldn't be a shocker if they met in early April in basketball's title game. Taking on the Illini. They've lost 5 times in a row there. Naquan Cook there, tough off-balance shot. He led all scores with 13. How about Greg Oden? One of 4 blocks. However, here, Sean Pruitt, a rejection of his own. Oden, no points in the first half. Buckeyes led at halftime, 36-22. Oden down low, not going to happen. Chester Frazier, the finish. Later in the second half, Oden, not a great offensive day, just 3 of 12. 7 points, 15 rebounds, 4 blocks. Easy win for Ohio State, their first road win of the year. While the Gators and Buckeyes, again, get ready to duke it out on Monday in a football game. Their basketball teams, they've already met back on December 23rd, defending NCAA champions. The Gators blew out Ohio State by 26.
With this straight balling. ACC, Florida State, number 2 North Carolina, first half. Ty Lawson to Tyler Hansbrough, just got medieval on kids. But the All-American Hansbrough, only 5 points in the first half. North Carolina plus 11 rebound differential, best in the ACC, waxing the boards like Windex man. Hansbrough misses the free. Quentin Thomas gets the tip. Brandon Wright buffs it. Wright, 20 points. He is 6'9". Dude has a wingspan of 7'4". Second half, Heels up 6. Hansbrough rips down the board. Don't get scared. That's why they call him Psycho T. He scored 20 of his 25 in the second half. Later, Marcus Ginyard's shot in the baseline won't go. Hansbrough, holler. Heels had 16 offensive rebounds. I ain't saying nothing, but that ain't right. Heels win it large, and they will probably go to number 1 in the nation when the polls come out, because top-ranked UCLA lost. It will be the 85th different week North Carolina's been atop the poll, 3rd most all time. And the last time the Tar Heels took over the number 1 spot from UCLA, the 82-83 season, UCLA was number 1, UNC was number 2. Bruins lost, Carolina took over, and North Carolina State went on to win the national championship. But, we're not really talking about that. Roy Williams' old team, Kansas, rolled into their game at South Carolina with the number 9 ranking. First half, Kansas up 12-7. Brandon Rush gets a screen from Daryl Arthur. Israeli Ross gets caught watching, and Arthur brings down the rim. Rock Chalk Jayhawks looking for their first road win of the year. 13 minutes to go. Julian Wright got the ball stolen by Trey Kelly. Bunnies. Later, second half, Kansas up 9. Brandon Rush blocks Trey Kelly. Kelly still on the floor, trips Arthur. Then his own teammate, Brandon Wallace. Arthur gets back up, fills the lane for the lay and the foul. Rock Chalk Jayhawk up 11. Later, second half, Wright throws the alley. Arthur straight freaks the oop. Arthur at 17. Kansas wins it 70-54.
7-3 Georgetown, among others receiving votes in that poll. Hoya is hosting 10-4 Villanova in a Big Easter. That was Alexander Ovechkin, who's given his skates a day off. Patrick Ewing Jr. does not take any days off, because that's how I taught him. There's his daddy, and Georgetown up 6 at the half. Second half, Scotty Reynolds is going to get some help from Will Sheridan, and the freshman for Virginia goes to the hole. He had 16. Nova down 4. Under 10 minutes left. Nova down 3. Mike Nardi for the big 3 in this game tied, but Nova's going to lose Curtis Sumter to fouls. Would the Cats lose their mojo? No. Dante Cunningham. Roy Hibbert just 2 points in this game. Hoya's 22 turnovers, and it's 56-52 Villanova.
From the Big East to the Big 12, Red Raiders visit the Little Apple. Bob Knight, Bob Huggins. That's 1,459 wins combined. Bill Walker, brutal news for K-State fans, out for the year. Ruptured ACL. First half, Red Raiders down 1, not anymore. DeCenze White bucket off glass. He had 10. Texas Tech up 1. Second half, Kansas State down 4. Jason Bennett had 1 bucket in the game. Big man here drops the hammer. One of the easy buckets they had. K-State shot about 30% in the game. Here, Jarius Jackson loses his men, hesitates, bucket. He had 23. Texas Tech takes control. Said Bob Knight, we made the plays when we had to. That included this one down here to Jackson again. Off to a 2-0 start in conference play are the Red Raiders.
The reigning Division I basketball and football national champions, Urban Meyer, drew up some plays for Billy Donovan. Florida up a touchdown, said get it to Torian Green. He hits the 3. Florida led by 12 early, and the Hogs looked like they were going to get buckeyed, but not so fast, buckaroo. Patrick Beverly off the steal. It's a 4-point game. And Sonny's been waiting. Sonny Weems, he had 13, still 4. Gary Irvin, Arkansas coming off that Bama win. Stan Heath has a ball club. Beverly with the miss. Irvin tips it in, and Florida up 1 at the half, and then at half there's a gator in the bushes. He's calling my name.
The first time in college athletic history you had a #1 basketball team and #1 football team in the same year.
Going to use some of that BCS money on a new sound system. Chris Leak, the only Gator not at the game. He's on the talk show circuit. Football players talk about how the hoop team winning it all had them motivated. There was some motivation, and there's some more. Joe Kidd, Al Horford, swamp music over. Stephen Hill's headband ran away after that. Arkansas not backing down. Darian Towns, the old-fashioned 3. Florida's lead to just 2, and then Arkansas just 2 of 15 from 3. That's one of them, and Arkansas took the lead. Florida going to take it back. Lee Humphrey gathering the Noah spill, and he says, let me finish this.
That's as close as he'll ever shoot a basketball.
Florida retakes the lead. They're not going to give it up. Hungariest team won the BCS is what Coach Donovan said. Well, his team feasts in the end. Green the 3, Humphrey the 3, 79-72. 8th straight win for Florida basketball. Since the BCS championship's been created, there have been 3 national champions from the SEC. In the basketball game following the BCS game triumph, the winning has been contagious, even if the stakes are not nearly as high.
Ohio State Hoopers trying to erase the pain of Monday night for Buckeye fans, trying to win in Wisconsin where they're 39-2 at home under Bo Ryan in the Big Ten. You got Greg Oden, you got Alondo, Get Money, Tucker. Here, Wisconsin is ahead, and Tucker showing the freshman how the senior does things. Badgers are up 5. Second half. Wisconsin, Tucker down low. Just flips it up and somehow it goes. Tucker said after this one, we know we have a chance to be a great team. One more look. Loses it, grabs it, flips it. That's called being strong like a man. Tucker at 17. Later in the half, Wisconsin's up 10. Tucker with a steal. Tries to take it to the rim. This is what Oden can do. No. He gets the block, but Joe Krabbenhoft is there for the putback. Badgers up a dozen. Under 6. They're up 10. Steal. Cameron Taylor. 14-0 run for Wisconsin in the second half. They led by as many as 16. Taylor led the way with 25, but here come those young Buckeyes. Conley Jr. to Oden for the dunk. He drops the hammer. It's a 5-point game. Still got a cast, by the way, in his right wrist. How good is he going to be when that finally gets freed up? Ron Lewis, one of a dozen threes for the Buckeyes. It's now a 3-point game ensuing possession. 4-point game. Jamar Butler, Oden, again, young fella, makes it a 2-point game. 7.1 on the clock. Taylor at the line. Misses. Time left on the clock. Jamar Butler, he's about a 40% 3-point shooter, and he gets a good look to tie. It goes begging. And the Badgers, a little closer than it looked like it might have been, get the victory, and it's another loss for Buckeye Nation. This one not as tough to swallow for Ohio State fans as the loss to Florida and the title game on Monday. Basketball team, incidentally, also fell victim to the Gators' bite back in December, losing by a lot more than this. Overall, the Hoop squad, and they are still young, and they are still going to get better, but they're 0-3 against ranked opponents, and all those losses have come on the road. If you are sleeping on Clemson, wake up! Nation's last unbeaten men's team in the land. Oliver Purnell doing a wonderful job taking on NC State and Raleigh. Clemson's got 27 straight wins with James Mays is in the lineup, and he comes off the bench here and pitches in it a big way. Oh, go ahead, young fella. Puts Clemson up by 8 later in the first. Clemson's up 4. Mays steals the inbounds pass. Finish there. 6-point lead. Then in the second half, Trevor Booker with the miss, but Mays is right there. Whew, that is nasty. Levitation, Holmes. He had 16 and 8. Later in the second, Clemson's up 10. KC Rivers pulls up and hits a 3. Clemson shot 56% in this one. Vernon Hamilton, one of the 10 threes they hit. Clemson stays unbeaten. Jay Billis, tell me about the Tigers.
Here are top 20 ranked teams. 13 Alabama hosting 18 LSU. You got Glenn Davis, you got Ronald Steele, and you got Nick Saban, who denied to Kenny Stabler that he was interested in the Raiders job. Davis, reigning SEC Player of the Year, sore body after being involved in a car accident Saturday evening, said, "I'm a quitter. I'm not a quitter. I'm a competitor." Even when he went down hard there, he had 24 and 17. He can play, but so can Richard Hendricks. And the wind cries Bama. He had 18 points. Alabama, after that Arkansas debacle, comes back and beats LSU by 10.
Gig 'em. Texas A&M ranked ninth in the land. Billy Gillespie's team off to the best start for A&M since 78-79. Early on, Baylor team's much better than they've been in years past. Coming back from those tough times, AC Law drives, bucket with the right hand, and we point that out because AC is lefty. All three of these. And he puts his team on top. They lead at the half by 2. Then it's AC driving left and uses the right hand. Back in the day, there was a player that said he was amphibious, and actually he didn't have gills. He just had the words mixed up. He was ambidextrous, and so apparently is AC. Left hand dribble, left hand lay. Lefty, righty, anyway. Law at 20. Texas A&M off to its best start now since 59-60. They break open a close game to win by 10. They're 2-0. Georgia Tech hoping for just its second win over Duke in the last 22 meetings. Duke's got a situation of its own. They dropped their home opener to Virginia Tech. They haven't lost the first 2 to start in a long time. More on that in a minute. Rashawn Dickey had 14 of his season-high 21 in the first half. Georgia Tech's up. Midway through the second, looks like Georgia Tech's going to run away with it, but DeMarcus Nelson all the way the other way, 2 of his dozen. Climbing back within 5, John Shire. Good-looking freshman. This guy can score in bunches. We saw that in high school. And here, little floater. He had 16, team high. Later in the second, Anthony Morrow blocked by Josh McRoberts. But Javaris Critton, another good-looking freshman, showing the hops there. He had 11. Another freshman, Thaddeus Young, is a beast, showing the high rise to get the ball, bring it down, take it up. He had 11. Somehow Georgia Tech overcame 28 turnovers. Critton said, "I never give up. I want to do whatever it takes to help my team win." Layup and the foul. Big, big win for Paul Hewitt. The Thriller Dome was alive. They stormed the floor. But Jay Billis, what about Duke? How concerned should the Devils be?
North Carolina was a huge favorite to beat Virginia at home. Tar Heels have won 11 straight since losing to America's Team Gonzaga. Hey, America, we want you to meet Mr. Wright, Tar Heel freshman Brandon Wright. He's hot. I mean, as a basketball player. Double figs in all 15 games, leads the ACC in field goal percentage, and hopes to meet someone special to share a national championship with. That's special. First half, that someone special is Bobby Frazier, who gets the ball down to Wright, and Wright turnaround shot and good, but Roy Williams' club is down 4, closing seconds of the first half. And North Carolina is going to rally from a 9-point first half deficit. Wright, hook shot, and UNC up 2 at the half. Tyler Hansbrough, second half. Not necessarily pretty, but he is effective. North Carolina with the lead. Tar Heels shoot just 38%, but they win the rebounding battle big. Hansbrough with 18, and we started with Mr. Wright, and so we better finish him. He credited Virginia for slowing the game down, but they couldn't slow him down. He had 16, and it's North Carolina again, 79-69.
Top 10 matchup from the Big 12 in Lawrence. We'll see you for Big Monday. Brandon Rush and his squad absolutely destroy Oklahoma State. Sharon Collins, nice baseline pass lead for Sasha Khan. He had 16. They're up by a lot. It's going to get a lot worse. There's Rush with a punch. One more look. Levitation, Holmes. They're up by, well, now 15. It would get worse. Julian Wright, I don't know if he's got a job, but he could be a doorman at the wheel. Checking IDs, says David Mons, you cannot come into the club. Great defense, smothering defense. While they were shooting 58%, the Jayhawks. Oh, goodness, that was Darnell Jackson with the punch. It's now 22. Oak State was shooting in the mid-30s%. Mario Chalmers picks off an errant pass. It's Brandon Rush for the layup. No dunk this time, but it's still funky. And now they're up, well, it's 19. As I said, by the time it was over, it was a 30-point win. Darnell Jackson, 5 for 5 from the floor. Great pass. They were just showing out. They win their 16th straight conference opener. They send the Pokes limping back to Stillwater. Pittsburgh looking for a 3-0 start in conference. Already won at Syracuse. This time they're in the Windy City. Aaron Gray trying to bust out of a bit of a slump. Being held to fewer than 10 his last 4 games. Here, Levon Hendel, get it in low to the big man. That's what the big fellas do. Pittsburgh jumps out to an early lead. That's what you want to do in conference on the road. Get the lead, keep the lead. Sam Young here tips the ball loose. Great hustle, pokes it away, and ultimately it ends up with Keith Benjamin soaring in for the dunk. His only bucket of the night. Pitt led by 10 at the half. Second half, Panthers working out of a double team. Work it down to Aaron Gray again. He had 18. And then it's Mike Cook, Levance Fields. Down low, somebody got to keep an eye on him. Their 5th win in a row. This is the same floor where DePaul beat Kansas, so that's a good road win for Pittsburgh. Another good road win in conference.
22nd ranked Connecticut hosting Marquette. Golden Eagles have never dropped 3 straight in conference under Coach Tom Crean, but the Huskies looking for a school record 32nd straight home win. They kind of split homes. Jeff Adrian trying to split defenders right there. He gets the rebound. He had 18 points, but Marquette was up 4 at the half. Second half, Doug Wiggins, crossover dribble on Dominic James and the foul, but he couldn't finish, and Wiggins had 19. The game's tied. Jerome McNeil, he had 19. UConn had 21 turnovers. McNeil the steal to James, the reverse dunk. He's 5'11". Take another look. Marquette beat the Huskies by 16 in the paint. And then James hits the 3. He had 17. Jim Calhoun afterwards said leadership's a problem, focus is a problem. One of those did you see the finish games. Vanderbilt hosting 20th ranked Tennessee said did you see the finish, not did you see the jacket. And we've seen that before. Bruce Pearl only busted out for big games. Oh, what a finish. Duke Cruz, Tennessee, a 1-point lead with 15 seconds left, with 5 seconds left, excuse me, and now with less than 4 seconds left. Derek Byers misses everything. Shan Foster gathers the spill, and Vanderbilt beats Tennessee by 1.
Unbeaten Clemson Saturday for 25th ranked Maryland. First up for Gary Williams' squad, Miami. Early in the first, Jake McClinton on the break. He gets blocked by Mike Jones, and then boom, Osby with another block. But Maryland was down by 5 at the half. This is the story of the game. Maryland couldn't shoot at all. Neil, as you know, I've seen a few Maryland games in my life.
Including this one.
They shot 22% from the floor. Misses from there. That's a Kenny Beckway. He's a senior. He normally makes those. Maryland couldn't make anything. Miami shot about 30%. They won. Harris, bucket there. Miami comes into the Comcast Center, and they knock off the Terps. Campus, Oregon State 0-3 in conference at home. Now they head to McHale, where they've never beaten Lute Olson. 23-0 there, and they wouldn't beat him here either. Arizona won this one easily. Jamal McClellan, Mustafa Shakur. Arizona's up 10. They would lead by much more as we press forward. Shakur normally on the dishing end. Chase Buttinger, great-looking freshman, goes backdoor. He's got the crazy hops. Here he just lays it in. Freshman at 16. Arizona would lead by more than 20, and this one here is Marcus Williams. He starts it with a great block. The sophomore out of the Seattle area, reward him. He had a career-high 27. This young man can play. Arizona cruises and wins by 11.
See your Arizona, Oregon State, Arizona State.
I get it.
17th ranked Ducks coming off that win over UCLA. They got Malik Hairston back from the heel injury, and, well, he had 13. Oregon down 1, though. Second half, Ernie Kent's halftime speech is stuck. Oregon up 13. Aaron Brooks, 11 of his 16 came in the second half. AB all the way, and Oregon up 15. But now, less than a minute left, it's a 5-point game. Antuia Tuani misses the lay-in, but gathers his own spill, and we got a 3-point ball game. Less than 15 seconds left. ASU needs a 3 to tie. A Tuani to Jaron Ship.
Yay.
Oregon wins by 5, and they are happy at Reynolds. 4th-ranked Washington and Stanford, where Trent Johnson's Cardinal were favored. Late first half, scored tied. Quincy Pondex, pay for my dry cleaning. Stanford, though, was up 2 at the half. Under 3 minutes remaining, Stanford down 3. Lawrence Hill, the steal, and you know the deal. He's going all the way the other way, and Stanford takes a 1-point lead over Lorenzo Romar's club. Now just over a minute to go. Washington down 1. Justin Dentman, Windex and the foul. Washington up 1. Stanford down 2. This is crazy. Anthony Goods misses. Dentman saves it. Spencer Haas, he gets it stolen. You may remember his daddy from the NBA. He's a good player, old Spence, but gave it up right there. And Hill lays it in off the glass, got fouled, and this game would be tied. 5 seconds left. Washington needs a 3. Phil Nelson can't get it, and John Brockman put it back. Stanford wins by 1. 78-77.
First road game of the year for Memphis. true road game, I should say. John Calipari and Tom Penders from Houston. Not the best of friends, which means, this game will be played with a great deal of passion and energy. That's Jamar Thorpe showing off just ridiculous rise. Goes to the top of the square with a finish there. Houston's within 3. Same margin. Robert Dozier starts it off the break with a block. Chris Douglas Roberts on the scoring end. He had a team-high 16. Tigers had a 14-point lead at the half. They played from double digits ahead the whole way. Andre Allen here with a layup. Memphis shot 60%. You win a lot of games when you do that. They also hold Houston under 70. They're now 12-0 when they hold their opponents to 70.
Was Friday the night that Iona wins its first game of the season, or does Jeff Rulin's club fall to 0-15? Iona, D1's only winless team. The second half, we are tied up. Iona has tied it up after the Jaspers were up 11 at half. Still tied, and Arturo Dubois gets the jumper to go. The Jaspers up 2, and then 2 minutes to go. Bartender, a Manhattan. 73-63 in Iona. Winless streak extended. 0-15.